This part will concern weapons. I have loaded here a few weapon props, and I'm going to use this advanced metal creator in order to change a little bit the metallic rendering of them. They are already all beautiful props, okay? And this is just to show on real props how these metal appliers can behave. I really like them the way they are anyway. So first I'm going to begin by this prop, a grenade, okay, it's the English name. So I unparent it and hide the rest of the group in order to work just on that. I make a first render. So this is a grenade, and there are small detailed textures that I want to keep. So since I want to keep the details of the texture, I'm going to use the appliers first and not the full presets. I'm going in the content library and I select all the surfaces and apply the metal one, okay? The look of it has changed a little bit. I can make just a preliminary render. Okay, this is metallic, this is too much metallic, okay, too strong highlights. Grenades are supposed to be a little bit old, or that's the way they are seen in our imaginary, in our imagination. So I am going to change a little bit the parameters. First, I'm going to darken the ambient, and I'm going to decrease a little bit the diffuse color too. This is just for the base, okay? And I'm going to use in the specular color. Specular is probably be white, okay? I am going to use a darker color in specular. What could it be? It's a green base, almost maroon, I would say. Something a little bit more maroon. It's even too warm and too strong. I'm going to go for a darker specular. And I know the highlight shapes, I don't like them. So highlight shapes are, I'm using these things because I want to configure all of them in the same time. So isotropic spread, I want something more large in the term of glossiness, and I want to have something more large, so with a lower glossiness value. Okay, this is better, and I'd like to add some old details on it, some surface scratches or things like that. Surface scratches. I am going to go in the displacement presets, and this can be scratchy. I don't know the way it's UV mapped. So I'm going to try these scratches, and I'm going to have a look at the displacement. Okay, and the displacement is 100%. I have nothing into texture related contribution here, so I can do something, okay? Here I have my map 12, okay, corresponding to my displacement 23. I should have been more clever when I did that. Here I have my map 15, so I'm gonna reload my map 12 here. Since here it is empty, I can add whatever I want, okay? So I can already mix two displacements. I know I'm gonna try to make a render, and you see immediately the grenade has an older look because of all the scratches that were added on it, okay? If we compare the two renders, maybe, if we compare the two renders, okay, you see in toggle mode, you see that it's getting naturally older, and it's getting naturally more realistic. I'm gonna even add some normal map for a kind of large variation of the shape, just as it had been damaged by the time, but on the global surface of it. Now what I load one of the normal map with not too strong defects. Okay, I could have loaded this one maybe. I'm gonna try this one, and I'm going to have a look at the strength of it. Maybe not too strong. I make a new render, and this should add some very small smooth surface variations that I hope we are going to be able to see there. Render 9 and render 10, toggle. Okay, you see this adds these little bumps, and maybe to have a better view of it, I would change the orientation of the bump and increase the tile of them. So on the normal maps, on all the normal maps, I want to change the orientation of it and maybe try a 4 tile, try to duplicate the map by a factor 4. Since the renders go fast, I can maybe increase a little bit the size of them. Okay, so that we see better what is happening. Now you have on this surface all these little defects which are linked to the displacement maps and the addition of the displacement maps. You got the highlights, which are maybe not strong enough on the dark parts, so I'm going to increase that. And you have in order to see it better, I'm going to set the normal map at 0 in order to be able to compare. Okay, and I'm going to compare this in the render editor to have a better view of the impact of the normal map on the final render. I wait the end of the render. Okay, close. I come back to 600 render settings because it was just this time to compare on larger render the effects of the normal map. Okay, for the normal map in toggle mode, you see it's adding all these little the larger defects. I don't know if it's visible, but if I toggle, you will see the effect on the normal map on the final results, and it gives an older aspect of it. Close it. Now I'd like to change on the dark areas the strength of my specular and the color of it. I can go for something more neutral or maybe even more cold, and I want to do the same for that. And stronger. And now the almost final render for the grenade is this one. There is a strong contrast between the enlightened and the dark areas. There are two ways to manage this. Either you increase your ambient, alright, strength or color, here it doesn't matter, there is no map, or you increase your reflection map. This is already at max, so I can either increase reflection map 2 or set it more reflective globally. But I don't want it to be more reflective, since grenades are old props. Okay, well, this is a little bit too much, I must recognize. But the idea is that you can increase your reflection. Here it was too much, and this should be better now. Okay, and if okay, that's the grenade the way it is set up. You can also I'm gonna save as scene and called grenade 2. Okay, and now I can of course use one of the full presets. So for an old grenade I could use only maybe this one as base. This is just the base of this one, because it could be funny. Oh, I go fast. It could be funny if it was a little bit rusty, or maybe this one could be better. Yes, but the tile has to be changed. So I take this part and change the tile of them for an old tile at 2, alt tie at 4, all tiles are at 4 now, and this will be too clear, so for the rest, for the green parts, I go in the color presets and go for strong colors. Maybe I fear this one with what kind of reflection? Not saturated reflection, maybe just something like that. I just try here live. Okay, this is not the right color. What could I use for a granate? Green? Strong green? Yes, this is strong green, but the highlight is then too strong. So when the highlight is too strong, always go in specular, reduce specular. Maybe I'm gonna change a little bit the spread. Yes, try this. And now, since I loaded the presets, I am going to reuse a displacement map on it and a normal map this way. This is very fast testing, okay? And now this is the displacement map and normal maps are not scaled the right way. So I go back to tile presets, displacement at 4 and normal at 4 too. I think the vertical tiles must be different from the horizontal one. No, it could be okay this way, okay. But this is a very fast setup. This is not optimized. This is just to show you if you use the preset what you can do. I really don't like the ambient color. I really want to go for something darker. Okay, now this is all for the grenades because we have a lot of props to review. Okay, this can be optimized. I think the previous, I undo everything. I think the previous settings were better when you keep your initial things. I think the best. Oh, it loses the colors. During the undo, it loses the colors. Okay, the previous settings were better. I'm going to go for another prop. So this one goes in the hidden group, and I'm going to take prop by prop. Okay, without oh, not the grenade. This one. Oh, this is a magnificent texture, and I really want to keep it. It's very beautiful, very well done. So I'm going in the content library and take the isotropic. I think, is it the only metallic part? I think this can be metallic too, and okay, this should be okay. And now the first render on it. Oh, but well, it's pretty nice, but I would like to keep more the details of the texture map. And what is I'm gonna do? Show me how it's done. Yes. What I'm gonna do is, if it's not already done, add the diffuse strength in the specular, but I'll probably then have to force the specular. First I'm gonna add it in the ambient. Let's have a look at the name. P3DA F4W cleaver, P3DA F4W cleaver. Okay, it's not enough. I'd really like to keep the nice colors of them. So I'm going to increase this in order to keep maximum of color contrast, but decrease the strength of them. Can have maybe more ambience, and I can try to add it in the specular, but then the specular is going to be very low. Okay, this is already better, but since I have a pretty dark map in my specular, no, I lack of specular. And in this case, when you're reusing, for instance, a diffuse map in the specular, just set your max limit at 200 and your value a bit above 100%. And now Okay, it is better. We have better highlights. Okay, especially if we turn in the right place where there are highlights. We have better highlights, and we see better the initial color of it. We can still increase the highlights. I'm going to change a little bit the shape of the highlights and increase them a bit. Don't panic if you go above 100%, because it's multiplied by something which will drive you back to low values. Okay, it's multiplied by a pretty dark color. Alright, since I pretty like this surface right now, I think this one may be the... Yeah, it's relying on the same maps, so I'm going to copy and paste the settings here, since I have found settings that I like. Okay, and it's less beautiful there. So I'm going to once again add some displacements. This could be okay for what I'm using. Here I won't add displacements. I would say there are already displacement. I can add maybe some... What's the diffuse looking like? I can add some scratches. This kind of scratches, but really not strong. Really not strong. Okay. And now I'm gonna have a new look at this. Okay. Okay, this is the new metals, but the initial metal is so well made that there's not a lot of job to do. So on flat areas, as usually, you can have a lot of highlights, except if you're increasing your displacements, and then you see you begin to have stronger highlights. I think I can set it a little bit more reflective, and I can still increase my specular and go maybe for something warmer as a specular. Okay, and you see you have a clearer metal with these defects. If you don't like the scratches, just go for something else. Just go for a kind of noise. Okay, which is less strong at the base, so I can increase it. Okay, a kind of noise. I can still increase it. Let's be crazy. Okay, or you can go for just little kind of dots. It changes just the details of the surface and may give different impressions. If I have a look at the other ray one, okay, it's less enlightened. There is less light in this direction, in the back direction, and well, this is if I want to keep the textures. Now, as usually, I can go for a full preset. This time, I would use preset 2. Rusty preset 2, and this all these are changed. Okay, I think I have changed the smoothing angle of it. The smoothing angle was probably not that high. I'm gonna try 17. Well, one important thing is that when you load the preset, your smoothing angle goes up to 89.9 once again. Maybe this is not the best preset for it. I'm gonna try this one. I don't know which one could convene for this kind of... so I try. Not this one. Maybe this one could be better, but what if I tile... what if you change the general tile, and this time I reduce the tile. Here I'm gonna take 3 and 3. And for here I'm gonna take 1 and 1. Just to have a look at what it could look like. Okay, you have another you have another kind of metal, maybe too old for this kind of weapon. This would be an abandoned weapon, but I don't think we are able to kill someone with this. Okay. Not much to say about that, especially because we have another weapon here. The thing is, as usually, either just load one of the preset and then tweak ambient and diffuse at the beginning, and then change your specular values, and at the end the reflection. And of course, add displacements if you want to, especially on flat areas. Now let's go for another example. So the cleaver come back here. It's by alphabetical order. Oh yes, this one is also really, really beautiful. This one does not need actually to have my metals applied, because they are basically so well done in terms of mapping and reflection used. Okay, maybe turn this weapon into very different thing. First an old weapon, and then something very special. Or maybe let's begin by something very special. I take everything and I'm going to apply this base first. Okay, and this is at the end of this, we will probably obtain something really surrealistic, but it's just to show what it gives. Okay, here it's normal that the flat area does not present any special feature. Okay, what matters is to see the proportion of the highlights here, and I see that I don't have enough highlights, but that's not what I'm going to do first. I'm going to apply an anisotropic metal with special maps on it and special variations, and now I'm gonna have a look at this. Okay, and this does not produce the variations that I want, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, this presents the variations that I want, so I was in the wrong direction. This one and this one are in the other direction. So you have now something more surrealistic as a weapon. So this can be used, for instance, for fantasy weapons or for jewels or things like that. I'm going to darken a little bit the grip part. Okay, with less ambient and less diffuse. Browse this, less diffuse. Okay, remove the. Okay, less diffuse globally. So to provide a contrast on the different areas, but to keep the main features. So now I want to change a little bit the color, the supporting color of these. Oh, what are these elements called? Of the guard. Sorry. So I want a bluer guard. Maybe I just can load the presets. Do I have a light blue? This is dark blue. This is light dark blue. I only have dark blues. And if I go there, maybe this one could be better. Just changing the guard of it. Okay, this is definitely too dark. Okay, less dark. Yes, it's a little bit more bluish, so I'm happy with it. I'm going to copy it and paste it to this one. Okay, and the tip of it, I also want another supporting color. So, and why not kind of pink? But this is going to be more too much saturated too, I guess. This won't be pink anymore. It's not pink, it's red. It's reddish. Okay, it's really not beautiful with red. Oh, let's try something else. It's really ugly. Okay, I recognize when I make ugly things. I'm gonna change the colors and the reflection color of it. This is not the effect I want to have. I'm going to come back to my initial full preset, which was this one, if I remember. What if I try this one for this shape? This gives another impression, and I just want to darken it without changing the base color. Okay, now we have a kind of a surrealistic weapon, because the initial weapon is so well done that I don't have the impression that I can it could be different and maybe a bit better in terms of reflections with the metal shaders, but the initial preset is really well done. Okay, and what could we do? Well, I think that's all to show that you have this funny weapon. Oh, maybe yes. Okay, this is based on this map, and maybe we can take this map. Oh, which one is it? Maybe we can take this one. It was diffuse 2, and send it to Photoshop. You have the right to modify all these maps. All these maps belong to you, okay? And now I'm just going to which parameter is it? Color balance, okay? I'm gonna change the color balance of it. Okay. File and save for web. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I'm just going to save as. Okay, and save as GPG. Let's call it D3. Okay, for diffuse 3. And come back there and load D3 as the basic color, and do the same for the diffuse D3, and go for something really more contrasted. Okay, it's the thing you can do. It can be almost applied for jewels or for really special effects. Well, you see in close-up what it gives. Well, that's if you want a really different fantasy weapon. Now you can do something else with this weapon. We can, for instance, make an old weapon out of it. So I'm gonna load a few different presets. These elements there. This one here for the guard. I'm gonna keep the two materials, the guard, the same. I'm just mixing and trying. Maybe for this one I'm gonna keep the material I used for the guard. It was this one. I could try a less strong preset. And this is the difficult part. I'm gonna try maybe this one and make a first render. Well, this is another weapon. Okay, I told older. I'm not sure it is that old. Maybe because the blade of it is not old enough. So we could maybe try this for blade. Okay, if you don't like the tile of it, you can offset. I'm not on the right part. You can offset it. I was using the wrong offset. Offset in tiling, and see, you can adjust the position of the defects. I try to find. I like having damages on the border. Okay, and what if I try with the offset this way? A little damage at the tip of it. Okay, and now the only trick is that I have a disconnected bump, okay, from the rest of, not only bump, but in this case bump is a problem from the rest of the offsets. So I have to copy and paste this in bump values, because for this particular map, bump has a strong influence on the result. So I copy and paste in the offsets of the bump what I have used for the main pattern. Okay, and now I can try and render. Okay, this is a really old blade, and maybe there are it's old, but maybe there are not enough highlights on it. I'm going to go first to increase a little bit my reflection. I can increase it with the map already. Okay, so I don't need that, and I'm going also to increase the specular values. The size of the specular, I can go to a more familiar preset and try to render this. Okay, I even want more reflection and more specular, and more reflection out of it. Okay, this is closer to what I wanted to obtain. Maybe I'd like to change my reflection map for something colder. Just try this. Or I'm gonna try a few reflection maps. This one I'm not sure, maybe this one. Okay, this one is better. For this kind of shape and this kind of map, this one is better. Okay. Well, that's all. And if you want it to have an older look, because now the blade is more clean than the rest, so you just have to turn things back, less reflective. Okay. And you can add displacements, which you can find on all weapons. For instance, this one with a tile. I'm going to use the tile with this, with a tile at 2 probably, and stronger. Okay, it begins to appear. I'm going to increase the tile, I think 4 may be better. And increase the strength of the displacement once again. By this time using maximum and minimum. Okay, this is a lot, but you know, it's getting another look, another. It's giving a more old aspect, I think, when it's damaged on the surface. Okay, you have to find the same old age for all the sub parts of the surface. Well, that's it. So with this basis, you can go for something really, let's say, render editor, and compare. We are going to go. We can go. No, we cannot go further than 10 renders. Why? I did not know that. Okay, but so we are not going to compare, and it's really strange. I didn't know that. Okay, so we cannot compare. No problem. So you can go for something which look like a jewel to something which look like an older weapon. Let's go for another one. It was sword. Come back here. Cleaver, it's down. Grenade, it's down. Oh, which one? Which one have I not done? It's this one. Have I? Oh, Cleaver silencer. I didn't know the English name. So, no. Oh, sorry. Oh. Unparent item from the lights. I didn't know. I thought cleaver was cleaver. My poor English makes me suffer so often. Okay, first time I'm testing this one. Okay, it's a little bit dark. I'm not sure. I don't know. I am not. I have loaded all things very fast, and I'm not sure these are really the studio materials. You know, I have not taken care of what materials I loaded. I just loaded this way. Maybe it's for some poser materials. I don't know. So I am going to load all my surfaces. Oh, these are sub props. No, bad luck. So I'm going to load most things manually because they are separate elements. Or maybe I can use all this and all this. Okay, I am loading all my surfaces. And since it is something pretty old, Metal 2 is more for new things, you know, bright and shiny, and Metal 1 doesn't convey more for old things. So let's go for that. Okay, there was transparency somewhere, probably, I don't know. Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh no, maybe not. So okay, so it is already much more shiny. Maybe I could undo and make a render. Sorry, undo. I missed my Z touch. Can I undo easily? Okay. Make first render, but as I told you, it's probably, I'm not sure it's the initial texture needed. I applied Metal 1. Okay, it's loading everywhere, and make a render, and you begin to have more shiny things. There is not a lot of job to do, I think, because it's already there are already the good informations included in the textures. You see, the textures have been really well worked to give the impression of all the metal. So what can be done here is to use the map, for instance this one, use this map and send it back to ambient color. So it's P9040 cleaver K, and I'm going to pick up P9040 cleaver K, this one in the ambience, and I'm going to take stronger ambience to see if we see better the details of it. Okay, I guess we see better the details. I should do this for all the surfaces. ACCK. This one is ACCK. Okay, I got it. Well, I'm not gonna do this for all of them, just for the two main. Okay, otherwise it might be too long. And maybe for this one too, it's ACCK2. ACCK map. Okay, and I'm going to increase the ambient white. Okay, and diffuse white. This allow to keep the best contrast of your maps, and then you have to play with this in order to reduce the total power out of it. And white 2, and white, because you multiply this color by this color, and when you multiply by something which is not one, you will automatically reduce the color contrast of them. Okay, I think I have the one that I want. And okay, this is fine, and this is fine. I want thinner highlights here on the round part, and more visible here on this pretty flat area. So for this, I'm going to go in specular, reduce this, and keep the specular strength this way. And here I'm going also to go in specular. Okay, reduce this. Okay, and I think that's gonna be better. I want a smaller highlight, smaller and smaller. Go for smaller and smaller. Okay, till smaller and smaller, till I find a compromise. Okay, the size is better, but I've lost too much energy. I've lost too much energy while shaping it. Sorry, so I'm going to set up on higher limits and increase it. I prefer it this way. It's not really obvious that I'm increasing it, but yet I'm increasing it. So maybe for something larger with a higher glossiness. I find it difficult to find the right size of it. So very, very glossy. Okay, and this around 0.0.0.7. Well, it's pretty fine. So I guess there is an opacity map there. No? Oh, it's meshed. I thought the detail was an opacity and it's meshed. And on this one, I told that I wanted some stronger specular. And since there are flat areas, I will tend to go above 0.1 here. This increases, going above 0.1 will increase the power on the flat areas too. Okay, and but no, the tip here is too unlighted, so I'm going to decrease the specular and decrease this just a little bit. Okay, well this could be done this way. Now, what if we just load a preset? So a preset for an old weapon could be. I'm having a look of what I have. Maybe why not? No, why old weapon? Just weapon. I'm gonna take this last one and darken it. This last one, this last one, this last one, but darken everything. Ambient and diffuse. I'm gonna take the 3 of them and darken everything. Darken the ambient, darken the diffuse, and have a try. Okay, there is too much of displacement. I have something here which allow me, in reflection mirror metal, which allow me to lower all the displacements and things like that in the same time. Displacement bumps and normals. Okay, well, with this preset, this is pretty fine. Since I like the surfaces, I'm going to copy the selected surfaces and paste it where I feel that they could be needed. Okay, and now you have an old weapon with some nice reflection features. This is not optimized. This is just to show you how to globally approach the development of the metals. So, okay, I won't do a lot of things on it. Maybe I could. What could I do? I won't do because I don't know what I could do more than that. I think, okay, pass to selected surfaces to, oh, this is supposed to be rubber. So if this is supposed to be rubber, we're going to use maroon rubber. Okay, a maroon rubber and with specular features. Maybe this way. I'm probably over exaggerating the thing. Rubber reflection, I took maroon, so I'm gonna take something a little bit lighter. And low environment reflection, since this is rubber. Okay, and this is still too reflecting. Let's have a look at geometry on this. Okay, so I'm going to decrease specular really a lot. And I'm going to decrease the maps too. Oh, because I'm very large. Sorry, I'm very large. I'd better keep a small isotropic spread. Since I'm very large and on a very curvy surface, I tend to project the reflection map, the environment map on the surface. This is the problem I have. Or I can just go for this, but I'm not sure it won't help a lot. Let's try to kill the power of the environment maps for the rubber. I try to develop rubber on a metal base, okay? It's not at all what it's made for. It's not at all what it's made for. That's what it's making it so difficult. So yet I'm stupid. If it's rubber, it's diffusive. Not yellow, but maroon. maroon rubber. So is it better now? Okay, it's diffusive and I can increase. The color is already included in the map, and I can increase. Sorry, I need a break. I think I'm gonna make a break and before coming back to the tutorial, and I can increase this. Okay, and have a look. It is not made to create rubber, but just metal. It's just a try I'm giving. No, it's definitely not made to make rubber. So I shouldn't have touched this surface. And for the other surfaces, well, it's pretty like metal. The thing that I would reproach on is that the displacement is maybe not the right tile, and I could eventually retile the displacement. So for now, the displacement tile is at 2, and I'm going to use 4, and maybe it just will look a little bit better. There's a tiny difference, and I prefer maybe this version. Yes. Okay. So it was how to apply this on dark weapon metals. Let's go for the rest. So this I can send back to the group, invisible group. Grenade, I think it's the one I already did, no? Or is it another grenade? Okay, it's the one I did before. And what do I have in the group? Security iron rifle and Parentite. Oh, I didn't did this one. I don't know if I'm gonna do this one or another one of mine. Oh, come on, security rifle. It doesn't want because okay, on this one it's the same principle as on the cleaver there. So I won't spend a lot of time on it. I think I'd better use it on a rifle. Yes, that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna load it in the scene. I'm going to end this weapon session by this rifle. Okay, this rifle already looks a little bit like the final shaders. It's because it's on this rifle that I began to develop the embryo, let's say, of the shader, and after that I enhanced them until I reached the final result today I have. Okay, so I am going anyway to take, let's say, everything except the wood, almost. I must have almost everything, and apply the metal one. Okay, and begin to render again. And this is approximately what we had, except that we are much more right. So this relies in the specular color. I'm going to take a warm specular color for everything around there. Okay, and I'm going to take cold ambience. Oh, it is E. Cold ambience. Okay, this way. And the result will already change a lot. Let's say a lot. Let's compare the renders just by changing the colors and nothing else. Okay, always toggle. The variation is really tiny. I hope it's gonna be well seen in the video tutorial. I close this and I'm going to also change the diffuse base color, of course, of it. Okay, for a cold one, and I'm going to increase the saturation of the specular. Okay, I hope this time it won't be too much. You see, for this one, I just for the moment change the colors. Okay, this is more beautiful. I just changed the colors that I want, and what I like is to use how to explain it. I like to use, for instance, cold colors for ambient and warm colors for specular, because this this gives a more natural look for this kind of weapons, which are a bit oxidated generally because they are old. So now, as you see, it has kept most of my maps, but I'd like to add, as usually, some displacement. And I want to take a very neutral displacement. I think this one or this one are the more neutral displacement, or eventually this one, you know, these small holes. I'm going to take this and have a look at my displacement strength. It's 100%. You know, it's these little scratches and dots with very distributed over the surface. Okay, and I have a certain pattern displacement. This is curious, but okay, never mind. And I can render this with the additional displacements, and you see that the tile of the displacement is too big, okay, and the strength is too strong. So I'm gonna either I change the tile there, or I go in the tile preset and set a 2 displacement tile, okay, and the strength was too strong, so I just decrease the strength there and make a new render. There's not a lot of job to do here. Okay, well, there's not a lot of job to do. I could say, for instance, my specular is too strong. Okay, my specular is too strong, and I'd like it to be more reflective. So I'm going in my reflection map. Everything is at 100% here, and here, and set it a little bit more reflective. Okay, so now it's really more reflective. It's maybe too strong as a reflection. Yes, it's too strong in contrast with the wood, sorry, not the hood. And so I decrease this a little bit, 15 for instance. And what else could I do? Oh, for the reflection map I want something warmer, because my specular is a warm color, so I'm gonna use warm also for the environment. And I'd like to test another map, neutral, something like this thing, okay. And this is not going to change a lot of things, it's going to change more on the flat areas. So the reflection map are too saturated. I decrease the saturation of them, and I'm going to focus, for instance, on this part here, and to have a look at what it gives, and in close-up. So in close-up I don't like this displacement. No, I don't really like this displacement, and I'd like also to have more shine here. So in order to have more shine here, I'm just focusing on this thing, this receiver thing, and this receiver part, and I'm going to spread a little bit more and increase a little bit more the power there, and maybe I can increase it even there, just to have a look at what it's giving. The highlight there is a little bit stronger, and the surface is a little bit more clear. Okay, and what could I do then with the surface? I could say that I don't like actually the displacements that I'm using, and I'm going to use another type of damage, surface damage. Alright, I'm gonna use this one with really a small strength and tile. So this one, the tile at 1, and the strength really not strong. 10, for instance. Okay, and now you have this damages there, but then I don't really like, I don't know, let's have a look at different angles. No, from far it's okay. I think the specular is now covering too much this part here, in which becomes too clear regarding the curvy parts. This comes from the specular being above 1. I'm going to do this little adjustment. Okay, I want to increase the contrast between the curvy part and the flat part. So for this, I'm still going to lower this. And to increase this again. Maybe not too much. I'm afraid it is too much. And reduce the ambience out of it, and reduce the diffuse out of it, and reduce the reflection of it. And I think I'm going to reach something. Let's have a render. Yeah, something with a stronger contrast between the highlight and the flat part. Well, there is not a lot of things to do. Yes, we could use presets. We could use presets as usually. So I'm trying random presets. Okay, random. I just click some of them this way, and this one, and the same, because it's the same thing. It's not. It has not loaded for this one, I think. Okay, and this one there. Okay, we are going to till the end. All right, and now have a look at the tip of it. The interior has not been made. Okay, I'm going to have a look at the tip of it. And in close-up, they load with very strong displacements. Because it's made to be on it's made to be on bigger elements, dedicated to see from a more far camera. So I'm going to tick everything, and since I'm very lazy, I'm going there and reduce all bump displacements and normal down to 10. Otherwise, I could do this manually, of course. Okay, this is another kind of preset you could have. I could even reduce it completely. If I remove it completely, it's gonna give another type of render, and now you feel that it's not good. It's not metallic anymore. And well, there's not a lot of things to do on these things because it already owns the presets of it. We could have a look at the lever. Alright, I have created a scene with just the levers that now if I browse my surfaces, I am not full of surfaces, but just have the ones that I want. There are two things that I want to show you. First thing, I'm going to use my isotropic applier and make a render. Okay, and the metal is not as beautiful as it was before. Okay, so what's the problem? The problem is that in the specular, I have lost the specular color map, and this is made on purpose. It's because generally the specular maps built by people are not adapted at all. They are very dark in general, and they are not adapted at all to this shader. So I made it on purpose so that people don't load their map, and it's something that you have to know, that you will have to re-inject your specular color map afterwards, after loading it. Maybe now I can have a look at the settings that I could use to have something closer to what I want. I'm gonna increase my limit, my maximum limit. Okay, and set it at 150%. Okay, I hope this will be enough. Okay, and I would also need to saturate let's change my ambient color and my diffuse color. I'm trying a few settings, okay, and now it looks much more like it was before. So in the displacements, I have here patch map. Okay, there is something, and I will have to show you concerning that. What did I'm looking for a displacement map. I think I could use the diffuse as the displacement. Okay, I have used the diffuse as the displacement. You have the right to do that, okay? It does not need to be black and white, but I have to decrease now the strength of it. When your diffuse map mainly corresponds to your displacement, then you just have to, you can put your diffuse in your displacement. Okay, that's the first thing I wanted to do concerning displacement. Now, another thing which is important to know regarding displacement is that some settings may produce an offset, and you can correct this easily. So I came back to my initial scene with the lever, and I go in the content library, and I apply, for instance, the isotropic applier 1. Okay, so now if I render, I have no offset. Okay, that's perfect. It's not the good textures, but I'm gonna maybe remove the maps so that we see clearer what's happening. Is it very clear now? No, it is very clear, okay. And I remove the maps, and I go in the displacement part, and here I have something called this patch, keep me if no other map. It means that you have to keep it if you don't have other map to place there, okay? I set this to known, and we might have a surprise. We have a surprise, meaning that this shouldn't be displaced since there is no map, and yet there is displacement. You see the difference? It's on the borders where there is where there is an angle here. You see the displacement. I can probably make it even stronger. Let's have a look at that. Okay, I can have it very strong, and yet there is no map. There should not be displacement, but it often happens this way when displacements are output of the DAS shader mixer. I don't know why. I'm not the only one to face this problem out of the shader mixer. So the thing you can first set a 0%. Okay, this is the first thing, but you still have these little stripes there. So the solution does not consist in placing a 0% strength. It consists in setting min of displacement is null and max of this displacement is null. Okay, this will work on your material related displacement and texture related displacement. The last displacement, offset pattern displacement, here is automatically null. Okay, and here you have no problem anymore. So if you leave this empty, you have a problem. And if you leave this empty and put something here, you also have a problem. If you use the full presets, there will be automatically a displacement map there. I think none of them, this one, maybe, none of them has an empty displacement, okay? They all have a displacement here. And you can always have a texture related displacement. Now, if you load, if I come back, undo, if I come back here and I load the isotropic applier, the displacement map, and I don't know why, won't be automatically applied. It's I think I know why. I think it's because it's the base shader, and it already has filled this part. Okay, if you're working on a sphere or a new object in your scene, which is here, if you're working on a new object in your scene, okay, you have this displacement map here, which is the patched displacement, okay, which is something to have to have something here. Now, if you remove the map and reapply the applier, the displacement does not come back. So take care. If you begin to see, if you switch appliers after removing the map, you might find offsets in your props. When you have offsets in your props, then first thing you have to check is that here the OPD strength is 0 if the OPD map is empty. And if it is the case, you have to go there and check that there is material related displacement. If there are none, normally this should be the, if you haven't touched this, there should be the displacement patch map, okay? But if you've removed this by accident, then the thing you have to do is either you reload it, or you just have to set 0 and 0 here as the displacement limits. Okay, that's all I wanted to say concerning those displacements you see. And even if you put 0 as a strength, okay, you will see of that there, and this is because you have to put a strength if you put an amplitude. Okay, and then if you see an offset when you apply a map, these matters of displacement are very complicated. I hope there will soon be a solution for this. Try to be, if you have a map, try to have min is the opposite of max. Okay, and things should be fine. Okay, min is opposite of max and things are fine. So no map, put 0 and 0 here. Okay, and if you have a map, put min opposite of max and everything should be fine. This is the tricky part. This is also explained in the PDF tutorial joined to this product. Okay, this is also open here, explained here at the end in the tips. That is all concerning the weapons. Thank you for watching this presentation.